My father would always drop me off at my grandfather's house, and my grandfather would spend the afternoon teaching me Chinese idioms and Confucius teachings. Growing up, I never enjoyed those, but it's very funny how when I'm now older, those are the things I remember the most about my grandfather. I think he didn't leave much behind, but the greatest gift that he left behind was to empower my father, my aunties and my uncles with the gift of education.
When I was young, I was actually from a lower middle income family. So I was not that poor to qualify for, most of the government financial grants. But we basically have to live off what my dad earns. So there were a lot of luxurious items that I didn't get to enjoy growing up. But slowly I get to, understand why is it that, I wasn't able to afford all this. When I actually got into this scholarship, I would consider that as a coincidence and also some sort of fate involved, because it was really a very good and very meaningful scholarship journey ahead.
My family and I, we led a very simple life. My mom was an accountant, while my dad was a chef. So however, back in 2011, my dad contracted kidney failure and he had to attend regular dialysis sessions. So following that, my mom had to quit her job in order to care for my dad. And since then, we had to only rely on our savings and financial assistance. Coming here to SMU, I was actually very grateful for ARA to have the scholarship. So it helped me and my family to lighten a lot of financial burden in the household.
My dad is the only person who's working hard to basically make sure that everyone in the family is well fed. Because he didn't finish his education in secondary school, so he can only turn to a job in the blue-collar industry. So there are days when he comes back really, really tired, and it's just really heart-wrenching seeing him working so hard for the family.
Having the ARA scholarship really helped me a lot to take a huge burden off my mind, and I can really focus on my own studies and the work that I want to do. This really helped me to go further in my own journey in SMU.
We are very convinced that what we have to offer in terms of education, our holistic education, that is really a very valuable education. And we don't want to be in a situation where a deserving student would not be able to attend SMU and get that particular education for financial reasons.
Access to education is what underpins the work at the foundation, and that is the legacy we hope to leave behind for future generations.
Therefore, we're very grateful that the Lim Hoon Foundation, John and Andy Lim, were willing to help us in providing scholarships and bursaries to our students. That allows these students to get really the full benefit of what this SMU education is all about.
So one of the most memorable things about being a Lim Hoon Scholar is essentially the camaraderie between all of us. The fact that no matter how busy we are, we make a concerted effort to actually come down every single year together. So I think the bond between all of us is pretty strong, and the seniors always help out with the juniors with whatever they can, such as sometimes giving life advice or giving academic advice for those who are still in school.
I think being an ARA scholar really opened my perspective on what it means to do CSR for a company, corporate social responsibility. And we see firsthand how our scholarship started as a CSR initiative from the ARA group. And in my own business as well, we are also trying to incorporate some of the elements that we see.
When we started the foundation in 2008, we decided that we wanted to engage with students in a very meaningful way that would benefit them.
I was given the opportunity to plan an event called Project Rooster, which aims to bring the past graduated scholars and the new scholars together, as well as letting them interact with our group CEO, John. With that, we hope to achieve certain things, such as getting the past scholars to update their working life now, letting the past scholars know about the new scholars and vice versa, as well as letting John to share about his experiences to the past and new scholars.
John Lim's family and SMU share a common vision, and that is to nurture and encourage students to make a difference now and throughout their lifetime in leading projects, applying their skills and learning to make a meaningful impact. My hopes for them is that they will continue to be engaged with ARA Asset Management and Lim Hoon Foundation. They'll come back and participate in the Scholars and Alumni Network and lend their support to making it a meaningful and sustainable network.
Mr. Andy Lim has always been a strong supporter of the Lim Hoon Foundation as well as the ARA Asset Management Scholars. He wants us to always pursue our passion and not have any hesitation when we do it. I hold an utmost respect for Mr. John Lim, Mr. Andy Lim and the team at ARA Asset Management and Lim Hoon Foundation because what they have done is that they have planted a seed to give opportunities for fellow students like me.
As I graduate from SMU, I started working full-time under Just Fly It. One of the reasons why I can overcome all this is also because during one of our networking lunch with Mr. John Lim, he actually shared with us his growing up phase during his business, and I actually learned a lot from him, like how he persevered through his own challenges, and that actually inspired me a lot. That brought me to where I am here in Just Fly It.
Throughout my 4 years in SMU, I felt really inspired by Mr. John Lim as well as Mr. Andy in the sense of how they have been actively contributing back to the society. So when I graduate, I hope to be able to do that as well.
So sometimes I feel like a very proud uncle because I've actually seen how the students grow up before my eyes. Sometimes they'll come to me and ask for advice and I'll do my best to help them out. Ultimately, I hope that they benefited not only from our gift, but that they actually learned important lessons on life, career, and also how to pass it forward.